Four Sixes is coming. Everything you don't know about Yellowstone's most mysterious spinoff. The next chapter in the Yellowstone universe isn't just another spinoff, it's a legacy in the making. Four Sixes will take us deep into the heart of Texas, where real cowboys, legendary land, and raw survival shape a story unlike anything Taylor Sheridan has told before. From Jimmy's emotional transformation to Teeter's heartbreaking new beginning, from the history of the actual 6666 ranch to the long-rumored arrival of Matthew McConaughey, this video covers everything you need to know about the most authentic and powerful Yellowstone series yet. We break down the real-life legacy of the Four Sixes Ranch, Jimmy and Teeter's future in the series, the show's surprising emotional tone and themes, the truth about the delays, the McConaughey casting rumors, whether Rip and Beth might be headed to Texas. This isn't just about cattle and cowboys, it's about the soul of the West. Release date info, confirmed details, speculation, and more, right here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for everything Yellowstone, 1883, 1923, 1944, and now, Four Sixes. Hook questions for YouTube script or pinned comment. Is Four Sixes the future of Yellowstone after the Duttons? Could Jimmy become the new face of the franchise? Is Matthew McConaughey really joining the cast? And if so, who will he play? Why is Teeter's story more important than we think? Could Rip and Beth make an unexpected return at Four Sixes? And most importantly, will Four Sixes bring back the heart and grit that made Yellowstone great? The next installment in the Yellowstone franchise is going to be the highly anticipated Four Sixes series. This show was announced back when 1883 first launched Yellowstone's expansion into spin-offs in 2021. Since then, we've gotten 1883, 1923 with 2 seasons, and Lawmen, Bass Reeves, which spun off from 1883. That's 3 different shows within the Yellowstone universe, plus the final chapters of the original Yellowstone itself. Yet, Four Sixes is still in production. Thankfully, it looks like 2025 will finally break the curse of Four Sixes, but before diving into the show itself, it's important to talk about where it takes place, because this isn't just a fictional ranch made for TV. The real Four Sixes Ranch is a massive historic property in Texas, with over 266,000 acres. It dates all the way back to 1870 and is essentially a real-life version of the Yellowstone Ranch, only it's located in Texas. It all began when a 19-year-old cowboy named Samuel Burke Burnett founded the ranch. It stayed in the family for over 100 years until his great-granddaughter Marion, who owned it in recent years, passed away in 2020. In her will, she asked for the ranch to be sold. A surprising move, considering how long it had been in the family. This created an opportunity for Taylor Sheridan, who bought the ranch in 2022 for a staggering $320 million, bringing his cowboy dreams even closer to reality. From that point on, we started seeing the Four Sixes pop up in Yellowstone, first in Season 4 and even more in Season 5. But it wasn't just a simple new location. It was basically a long teaser for the upcoming Four Sixes show. Our beloved character Jimmy Herdstrom was at the center of all these scenes. We followed him as he went to Texas, left Mia behind, felt guilt, met Emily, fell in love, and finally found a true sense of belonging. By Season 5, Jimmy was still in Texas and seemed happier and more grounded than ever. So now the big question is, what will Four Sixes explore next? Jimmy's story feels complete, but there's a new character joining the ranch who will definitely shake things up, Teeter. After losing Colby in the Yellowstone finale, she ran to Travis and begged him for a job. Travis, being his usual reserved self, just told her to ask Jimmy. Jimmy gave a small nod, and that was all it took. Soon after, Teeter was walking into the Four Sixes, starting her new chapter. Travis gave her a horse named Mankiller, a fitting name for someone like Teeter. While Travis isn't exactly a warm or emotional character, Jimmy's smile in that moment said everything. Clearly, the Four Sixes will be a new home for Teeter, and Jimmy will help guide her through this journey. Personally, I love that they're teaming up. As side characters in Yellowstone, they were interesting, but together they might truly shine in this new story. Now, I have to admit, I'm not a fan of Travis, especially since he's played by Taylor Sheridan himself. I'm not thrilled that he'll be a big part of this new series. That said, Jimmy and Teeter's presence is enough to make me overlook that. What do you think about Travis being in the new show? There are also rumors that Taylor Sheridan believes the show still needs a major star, and that might be none other than Matthew McConaughey. After years of speculation around his involvement in the Yellowstone universe, 4/6 feels like the perfect fit. He's a native Texan, who better to join a Texas-based cowboy drama? As for the plot, 4/6 will be different from Yellowstone. It will focus more on the personal lives of the cowboys and what it takes to run a ranch, rather than political drama. Some people even describe it as something like a documentary, except it's fictional. Since the 4/6 is an actual working ranch, this series will offer a fascinating blend of real life and scripted storytelling, showing what it's like to keep a ranch alive in 2025. There's also a very interesting possibility. 4/6 may not be entirely separate from the events involving Rip and Beth. As we saw, they left the Dutton Ranch to move far away, though we weren't told where. It's very possible that they moved somewhere near Texas, so don't be surprised if Rip crosses paths with Travis again. Not exactly a pleasant reunion, but certainly a dramatic one. The only thing that makes fans a bit nervous is that there's still no official release date for the series. Even though we know it's planned for 2025, executive producer Christina Voros recently said she's unsure if it's still in active development. That sparked some concern, but thankfully, IMDb still lists it as a show set to premiere in 2025, so fingers crossed. For more weekly updates on the 4/6 series and the entire Yellowstone franchise, make sure to like and follow. And if you're interested, check out the video on the screen. It might just be the next story you're looking for. The next great chapter in the Yellowstone universe is quietly taking shape, and it's not just another spin-off, it's a legacy, a myth reborn. And it's been simmering in the background ever since the Duttons first thundered onto our screens. The highly anticipated 4/6 series, long teased and long delayed, is finally ready to rise out of the Texas dust and claim its place in the modern Western pantheon. It all began with a quiet announcement back in 2021, when Yellowstone creators expanded the world into not one, but multiple timelines. First came 1883, a gripping, heart-wrenching prequel that gave us a raw look at the journey that forged the Dutton legacy. Then came 1923, with its brutal depiction of survival through war, loss, and frontier grit. And most recently, Lawmen. Bass Reeves, spun from the same narrative universe, added yet another branch to this growing generational tree. But while those stories ventured deep into the past, 4/6 has always pointed forward, toward the future of the West and the rebirth of cowboy tradition on a real working ranch, unlike anything we've seen on television. Yes, this isn't just fiction. 4/6 is grounded in reality. The 6666 Ranch, also known as 4/6, is very real and staggeringly vast. Spanning over 266,000 acres across Texas, the land stretches out into the horizon like something out of myth. Established in 1870 by 19-year-old cowboy Samuel Burke Burnett, the ranch was built on sweat, stubbornness, and the old code of the West. It stayed in the Burnett family for generations, over 150 years, until 2020, when its story took a dramatic turn. That year, the ranch's owner and Burnett's great-granddaughter, Anne Marion, passed away. In a stunning twist, her will stated that the ranch should be sold. That decision rocked the legacy of the 4/6, but it opened the door for a storyteller with cowboy dreams bigger than Texas. Enter Taylor Sheridan. Sheridan didn't just buy a ranch, he bought a vision. For $320 million, the Yellowstone creator took the reins of a real piece of Western history, and almost immediately, 4/6 began making cameos in the Yellowstone main storyline. What looked like a side arc for fan favorite Jimmy Herdstrom turned out to be something much bigger, a preview of things to come. We watched Jimmy transform. He left behind the Dutton Ranch, a trail of romantic heartache with Mia, and the wreckage of his old, aimless self. Down in Texas, he met Emily. He found love. He found purpose. He found a place where he finally felt like he belonged. By the time we see him again in Season 5 of Yellowstone, Jimmy isn't the same boy we once pitied. He's a man now, confident, at peace, and thriving in the land of big skies and bigger dreams. And now that very land is ready to take center stage. So what will the 4-6's show be about? That's where things get even more intriguing. We already know it will depart from the power struggles and blood feuds that define the Dutton family saga. Instead, 4-6's promises to delve into the actual work, struggle, and heart of running a real-life ranch. It's not about politics, it's about people, cowboys, their lives, their relationships, the dirt under their fingernails, the sweat, the sacrifice, the bond between human and horse, and the ever-present battle against nature and time.